You know, more and more black people are starting to speak up. They're starting to speak up on the community. And I don't blame us because we tired. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a huge difference between regular black folk and ninjas. Let me break it down for you. Ninjas want to stay in their horrible environments. They have no self-respect and no self-control. They go around unaliving, essaying, stealing, robbing. They don't care about each other. They don't take care of their neighborhoods. And they definitely don't take care of themselves. They don't care about their appearance. They outside loud and obnoxious. Bonnets and mink lashes, extremely long fingernails, sagging pants, smelling like an overwhelming odor of marijuana. And of course they the victim. They still complaining about something that happened 400 years ago, way before their time, way before their parents' time, way before their great-grandparents' time, way before their great-great-great-grandparents' time. Need I go on? And then we got regular black folk. We take pride in our community. We are hardworking, ambitious individuals who definitely want to be segregated from all that nonsense. Our demeanor and our appearance speak volume. We understand that there's a time and a place for our behavior. And most of all, we respect one another. We are not victims. We are the ones without our black card. So yes, black fatigue is really real.
You can have my black card. If the culture is determined by the thing that we celebrate the most, and you can 100% take my black card, and I relinquish it voluntarily. And you can always tell when a woman is conservative. You can always tell when a woman is not a part of the 92%. I would venture to guess. I would bet 100 grand that this woman is absolutely not a woman that voted for Kamala Harris, and I don't even know anything about her. I'm always going to put a link in her in the bio in order to be able to give credit back to the content creator. But let's get to the subject at hand. There is a difference, and it's funny that she mentioned a specific word, and she mentioned segregation. Ain't that crazy when you think about it? She said that there's a demographic of us, and I believe that it's more of us than it is of them, but it's just a lot of us that are shamed into not being on code. And so a lot of times we just observe, but those of us that are vocal are now making it more okay for people that are not so vocal to then say, you know what, I don't necessarily agree with that's happening over there. But she mentioned segregation, meaning that we need to separate ourselves from those that are the perpetuators of this whole horrible culture that we don't necessarily agree with. And I 100% agree with her. Isn't that funny how that came full circle where now we are talking about black people that think a certain way, that operate a certain way, that move a certain way. Now we have to be the ones that separate and segregate ourselves from those that are always victims, that refuse to take care of business, that's not on top of their game, that's always claiming victimhood, that requires for the government to continue to pay over and over and over and over again. And they always want to be reparated for something that they didn't even go through from people that is not even a part of that, and they don't even understand why they have to pay for it, because it would come out of everybody's paychecks to make sure that we collapse the United States of America, to make you feel better about the fact that you made bad decisions, and you getting more money is not going to make you a better person. It's just going to make the Escalade sell out. We know this. We know this. We are familiar with it. We are aware of it. We not confused about it. We know that this is a thing that is always going to be living with you, and that nobody is going to be able to change you except for you. But yet they continue to perpetuate this culture, this standard. They holding on to it for dear life. Lord, please make me a victim. And so there's a demographic of us. And again, I like to say this because I get so many emails and so many messages of people that's like, yo, Ton, I'm glad you said it. And with good reason, because, they have regular jobs, or they're in corporate America and they can't be as vocal about it. Or, a lot of us still come from environments and families where they are still a part of the Democratic plantation, and they don't subject themselves to the idea that the Democrats have failed them. They don't understand that the things that they really believe and the ways that they should be living their life is really conservative. The values that they believe in, even biblically, I see a lot of churches that's holding on to the Victim Olympics and they out here boycotting for the wrong reasons and diverting their attention to the wrong thing. Meanwhile, their communities is in shambles. They holding on to this, we shall overcome. They holding on to it. And I don't understand why. I don't understand where the value of that comes from. What are you getting out of it? How do you feel better in any way, shape, or form, in any capacity, actually being a victim? But people that make bad decisions. They take out student loans. They out here tearing up. They will rob the person that's living next door to them. They bring down the property values. They don't hold anybody accountable. They always smelling like trees everywhere they go. They done fucked up Carnival Cruise Lines. Carnival has turned into the hold down. It's bad. When you go to certain places out of the country that didn't get popularized, all of a sudden it turns into the ghetto fatigue place. And it's a lot of places that say, well, we don't necessarily want your business. Now, here's the thing. That doesn't mean that white people haven't torn up a lot of places also. I see it a lot of times over the last couple of years. Miami don't even want y'all down in spring break. However, that's not what we're talking about right now. We talking about you. And the way that a lot of people then divert attention from the thing that they're supposed to be responsible for is they say, well, what about them? That does not give you a license to do wrong. Just because they over there doing wrong don't necessarily mean that they got to be me. I don't care for that behavior either. Oh man, there's a group of white people that are racist and poor. Well, I don't want to be racist and poor, so why would I adopt their whole philosophy and their principles? Why would I want to be like the people that I despise in their behaviors, but we're leaning further and further? I asked somebody one time, I said, at what point will you feel whole? What is it that you need from the people, from America, from white people, so that you can get yourself together? And they said, well, we want to be able to perpetuate the same behavior or negative behavior and get away with it for the same amount of time that white people did it, as far as them oppressing black people here in the United States of America. I said, I'm done. I'm done. There's nothing else for us to talk about. What is there to talk about when you've already made up in your mind that you're going to be a POS? And I don't want to live next to you. I want to live next to, and I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care what demographic that you come from. I want to be next to and around people that are good, decent human beings. You could be whatever it is that you want to be inside of your household, but when it comes to how you affect the way that I live my life and whether or not my daughter is going to be safe, that is the biggest thing. Because at the end of the day, they're going to call you a sellout, but they're not going to come and hold you down when it comes to the person that did the crime against you or perpetuated the crime against your family. Nobody is going to be found. Everybody is going to disappear. And the only time that they donate to a Cash App or the only time that they decide that they want to fund a GoFundMe or Go Send Go is when it's against another white person. And that's the truth. And see, they don't want me to say that because then it forces them to look in the mirror instead of out the window. The greatest gift, the greatest weapon that you have is to take ownership and responsibility. You don't need to be for the community. You need to be for yourself and fix yourself. And that way, people won't be worried about having black fatigue. If you're hating a term, if you hate the fact that people are saying it, then don't be a reflection of it. I'm not offended by it because I understand that I'm a decent human being and that I'm not racist and I'm not fitting the stereotype of a lot of what people are tired of. Everybody is always offended, but ain't nobody ever taking accountability and responsibility. I'm going to link back to the content creator. Let me know what y'all think about what she said inside of the chat. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you disagree with me? Of course some of you do. I want to hear about it. Let me know inside of the chat. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.